It's a family affair here on the Super Morning Show. Enjoy 99.7 FM. Wow, I never knew that about Malik either. But if you're listening to us and you're not at work yet, then the car you're sitting in deserves the best treats. Introducing the latest addition to the Total Quartz engine oil family, the Quartz 9000 Future 0W20, specially conditioned and developed for the latest generation engine. Total Quartz 9000 Future 0W20 delivers excellent engine protection and cleanliness, increases your oil change interval while reducing your fuel consumption. For optimum performance and efficiency of your car, visit your nearest Total service station and ensure your car is well protected. Join the Total Quartz Nation movement now. Total Quartz, keep your engine younger for longer. So it's 21 minutes to the top of the hour. Today on the Super Morning Show, we'll spend time talking about the PDS Saga. What we know is that government has written to the Millennium Challenge Corporation, MCC, to tell them that we need a new electricity concessionaire, i.e. we need someone to replace PDS by December 2019. So there are two things to do about this story today. Today, we are going to ask ourselves what's the implication of this disagreement government seemed to have with MCC, because we've seen a letter where MCC wrote to government asking governments to reinstate PDS after they were suspended. Now, government has written back, that's the letter we read to you yesterday on the show, telling them that no, we need to rather replace PDS. So if they disagree, what are the implications? Also, we have with us in studio already an insurance marketer, very knowledgeable about the industry, who says the basis on which government is removing PDS in the first place is unfounded. But before we do any of that, Raymond Nemaleka here, and we'll spend some 5 minutes to explain the PDS deal, because we put up a Twitter poll this morning and 81% of you so far are saying you don't understand the deal at all. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure if I understand it very well myself. So Raymond Nemaleka here, they'll educate all of us. That's coming up in Big Stories. It's brought to you by Guarantee Trust Bank. Would you rather bank with us? Vodafone, the future is exciting, ready, and Latex Foam, your partner for life. Social media messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and Telecel 4G Just a Touch. If you're a trader or a merchant looking to grow your business, now is the time to grow faster and go further with EcoBank's DigiBanking Pack. The DigiBanking Pack is designed specially with the growth of your business in mind. Benefits include zero opening balance, no monthly service charges, automatic access to EcoBank's payment and collection solutions, loan of up to 200,000 Ghana cedis, and much more. The EcoBank DigiBanking Pack also comes with capacity building and financial literacy programs to empower you grow your business. To find out more about how to grow faster and go further with a bank that understands your business, visit the nearest EcoBank branch. Call toll free on 3225 or contact us on digipackgh@ecobank.com. EcoBank mobile app, CIMG product of the year 2018. EcoBank 2-time CIMG Hall of Fame bank, and EcoBank is the Pan-African Bank. So now we deal with the PDS saga. A bit later in the show, we'll be going to Kumasi, where 5 dead bodies have been found over the past 8 months at Santase Apre. What is happening? We'll have that explanation. And Michael Lamte will be joining us in studio. Who is Michael?
I have been experiencing headache for almost for a week. Wow. Why? Because I don't sleep. Thinking.
He's thinking about the 200,000 Ghana cedis he and his family invested in Gold Coast Securities, and they have not been able to get a penny off. Are you like Michael? Do you have monies with Gold Coast? Send us a message on 0244 340 437. That's the WhatsApp and Telegram number. Or tweet at us as Joy997FM. Go on our Facebook page, Joy 99.7 FM. Gold Coast will be on the show as well. So Edgar Edu is with us. Good morning, Edgar.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
Oh, by His grace. I mean, since we're happening, human being, why not?
Super. We'll interrogate the issues that you raised earlier with us very shortly. But Raymond is back in studio because we want to understand the PDS deal well. Ray.
Briefly. Now, in 2004, the American government has been giving aid to countries in different forms. So in 2004, the Millennium Challenge Corporation, a bipartisan agreement was done in America to make sure that they deliver the aid to countries that need help. They will give you the money, but this time around in a coordinated manner. That should make more meaning. what they decided to do is, let's look at the things that the people need more and let's give them what they need. So first, and I'm giving this example before, the first compact was on what we use the money for. We got some amount of money. What we use the money for, the big one, the other project we use it for, the big one was the N1. Remember during John Kufuor's time?
Yes.
You see how the N1 was built? It was built with money from the first compact. Then we qualified for the second compact. So we qualified for more money from the Americans. But in the second one, they realized that going forward, going beyond the 2006, 2007 period, the biggest problems countries in Africa and elsewhere in the developing world will be facing will be energy. So they have an elaborate report on that. So they proceeded to now say that we are focused on energy. Ghana qualified for the second tranche.
Okay.
Now, it required that they review our energy sector and fill in some potholes, which is, and there are 6 different projects they are supposed to do, but because it's PDS they are talking about, let's look at the only one. The one which is supposed to be the turnaround project, as in private sector participation to make ECG work better. You get the point? This was not sell out ECG. This is just concession. Come take over virtually the billing and the payment systems.
Okay.
So that it can get better, because they realized that the losses were huge. ECG was not able to collect the monies involved, and they also needed technical help to be able to reduce the losses that we are talking about in this case. Ghana, in the last government, in 2014, agreed finally to sign the second compact with the US. Now, we had to go through a process to select a company that will do this thing that the US says will bring about transformation. We agreed with them. Now, we agreed with them that a couple of companies should go through the process. In fact, during the NDC's time, we agreed some 80% was supposed to be done by the people who are coming in from elsewhere, and locally we will deal with 20%. Then that was changed along the line when President Akufo-Addo came in, and the change was made. So when the change was made, Ghana was supposed to be controlling 51% of that concession.
And when you say Ghana, you don't mean states Ghana, you mean Ghanaians.
Yes, Ghanaians. Now, so the Ghanaians are supposed to control the 51%, then the external party will be controlling the 49%.
Good.
Currently, the 49% is between the Miracle Group and also the A-Energy
from Angola.
Yes. Now, those two are the ones having the 49. Miracle 30, 19 is the A-Energy. But there's a consortium that's managing the process. That consortium is made up of the Ghanaian and the foreign people.
Okay.
That's what's called the PDS.
Fine.
So Power Distribution Service, the new company in this case, that came in to fix the problems with the ECG is the PDS.
Okay.
Now, what happened was that we went through a long process, and mostly when you are basically, you do insurance for a reason. You do insurance to make sure that when you value the assets and by some wrong happening, you lose something out of it, you have something to fall on. So you do funeral insurance and all the other insurance. When
like insuring your car.
Yeah, insuring your car. Accidents, you go to them and say that, oh, give me some money. The letters, if you like, the insurance letters, the insurance paper that we're supposed to have from Akut is where the problem has been.
Like you say, your car sticker.
Yes. Let's look at it that way. Yes. That's where the problem has been currently. Government, when ECG went back to do some further checks on that particular report, it just happened to be the case that the company that gave us the insurance said the guy who gave you the insurance is not qualified to do so. So we have a problem with the insurance. Now, we went through a long loop and government said we're going to investigate. Secondly, the grouping that is supposed to, we Ghana, we have a group that's supposed to be implemented that, and the MCC always makes sure that you have a country level group that is supposed to implement their programs, because they've seen that when they give it to government, it has been problematic. So that's MIDA. MIDA's role in this case is to ensure that the right thing is done at all times.
Okay.
MIDA also set up a team, FTI, to probe the same matter of how we got this defective insurance.
You mean they hired FTI? FTI
Yes.
consulting firm is an auditing firm.
Very good. So they virtually got up the team to go and do that job for them. When FTI came back, they dismissed the claims that MIDA, PDS, or any of its related parties have engaged in fraud. But they said there's still a problem with the demand guarantee or the insurance we are talking about in this case. Or the car sticker. Government's review also said there's a problem with the car sticker. Don't forget, on July 30th, government has suspended PDS for 30 days because they needed to clarify this matter. Along the line, that suspension was made indefinite. As we have been to, as government told us, they've made the suspension indefinite. If you recall, the PDS boss in the Philippines, who had made statements to the Philippine newspaper about what the status is, he also mentioned that they had indefinitely suspended them. Now, what is currently happening as we speak is that the US people had been having back and forth with government. The people who are giving us the original 500 million, they have been having back and forth with government on what will happen in this case. They asked government by October 30th. There's a letter I'll be reading details on, referred parts of it to you, to reinstate PDS from its suspension to continue its work. I hope you get that.
Okay.
So they said the people are suspended because they brought some not so credible car sticker. The grouping should be reinstated because it can fix the problem.
Okay.
Now, on the other side, government then wrote to them on the same day saying that we are discussing with you as of September 24th that we wanted to suspend the people, wanted to terminate our concession agreement with the people. But terminating a concession agreement doesn't mean that we don't want to have a compact with you. We only have to look for a new person to run the same thing that the PDS people were doing. That's what our government told the US people.
Okay.
And this is where we are today. So when we wrote back to the US, we were basically telling them that we told you on 24th. In fact, the president told you that this is our decision. That is what we want to do. We want to terminate the agreement with PDS and proceed to find another grouping to replace them by December 31st. So terminate and find a replacement. That is what we told them. Now, the NDC is saying that you can't do it within that period because you rush into the PDS one. That's why I have a problem here today. So this is how far we have come from. An agreement to improve the sector, and we realized that there was a problem with the people we have called in to come and improve the sector.
Specifically the insurance.
Yes. That insurance is what government says, because the insurance is one of the conditions precedent and critical conditions. Because of that, we want to terminate it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Raymond. 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Raymond just took us through a summary of our entire engagement with the United States government when it comes to the Millennium Challenge Corporation or the Millennium Challenge account in the first place, and what it means for us, why we had to switch from ECG to PDS, and now why we are terminating this deal with PDS. Edgar Redu is with us in studio because the issue that Ken Ofori-Atta has mentioned in this 9-page letter that he wrote to the Millennium Challenge Corporation has basically to do with the insurance arrangements that were made. Mr. Redu, good morning. Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, bro.
Great. So let's get into it. You have some basic disagreements with some of the issues that were raised in Mr. Ofori-Atta's letter. Let's have your initial comments on that. In just 30 seconds, help us understand what the challenge is.
The basis for termination of the concession, if it is based on the insurance aspects, then I disagree.
Why?
You see, I categorize this whole PDS thing into 4 streams. We have the shareholding structure, we have the financing structure, we have the technical aspects, and we have the condition precedents. Okay? I have problems with the first 2, which is the shareholding and then the financing aspects. But when it comes to the technical and then insurance, I don't see a problem there. Interestingly, his basis is on the insurance. And that is where it even gets bad.
I want to understand fully how he got the insurance wrong. After we have dealt with those issues, then maybe the concerns that you have about the shareholding and the finance will go through that. But since you're an insurance marketer, we'll stick to the insurance issues. But we can't forget, Raymond, that this began because of a letter that MCC wrote to Ghana government right after a meeting that we had. So let's go through that letter.
Okay, so the letter is addressed to the Honorable Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. It's from the Millennium Challenge Corporation. It's October 18, the same day that we actually wrote our letter to. Now, it says, it was in response, principles and actions, steps to move forward on the Ghana Power Compact. And I'm reading the first paragraph. Said, Dear Honorable Minister Ofori-Atta, this letter follows from bilateral discussion between the government of Ghana and the Millennium Challenge Corporation held in New York from September 22 to 24, 2019, and in Washington, D.C. from October 15 to 18. Don't forget that in our letter to the MCC, we referenced the 24 dates that the president was involved, and that's when the president had told them that we are going to terminate.
Yes.
So they have referenced the same set of dates too. During those discussions, the government of Ghana and the MCC agreed. CC teams agreed on principles and action steps to arrive at a mutually agreeable solution to the current challenges facing the private sector participation in the Electricity Company of Ghana, which is an activity under the ECG Financial and Operational Turnaround Project of the Ghana Power Compact, dated August 5th, 2014, between the Republic of Ghana and the United States of America, acting through the MCC. This letter sets forth, 1, a summary of the principal terms pursuant to which the government will reinstate concession. And I need to take note of this. A summary of the principal terms pursuant to which the government will reinstate the concession rights of Power Distribution Services, Ghana Limited, as contemplated under the agreements governing the ECG PSP as in effect on the date hereof, the lease and agreement, 1, bulk supply agreement, and the government support agreement, together with the LLA and BSA collectively, called the transaction agreements. Now, and the third one is the general principles the government will follow in carrying out the concession restoration and the facilitation of a restructuring of the equity interest of the PDS. The terms are defined in the compact, as we all know, as it's been said here. Now let's go to the general principles.
Asking them that we are writing this letter after which governments will bring back PDS, because PDS was supposed to be under indefinite suspension.
Yes.
So the MCC wrote government a letter on Friday asking government to reinstate PDS and bring
from
them
suspension.
back.
Now,
Yes.
the action items are very important. I mean, there are a lot of things in there. Now, the action items are very important. It talks about, first, maintain the framework and the terms and conditions of the existing transaction agreements unless otherwise agreed to by all parties. Ensure at least the same level of investment commitment in the distribution sector as was committed to the existing shareholders agreement. Maintain Meralco in current roles of financial lead shareholder, operational lead shareholder, and developing country lead shareholder. Now, let's not forget that when it talks about Meralco, there's a notation to it. The notation reads that Meralco decided to participate in the PDS consortium, which was incorporated on the 29th of June 2019 through Meridian Power Ventures Limited, a company registered in Hong Kong, which Meralco owns 100%.
Okay, so
you know why this is important?
Yeah, that story we did on Friday, the difference between Meralco and Meridian.
Brilliant.
Okay.
The second point is also made here. Ensure at least the same level of investment commitment in the distribution sector was committed in the existing shareholders' loan. And the fourth one says facilitate the equity participation of potential Ghanaian institutional investors in the transaction in a fair and transparent manner, while honoring the rights of the existing shareholders, the local ownership requirements, and the transfer, specifically restrictions of the GSA. Now, let's go to the actions that are required. They both agreed, that's according to this letter, that government of Ghana would, 1, formally announce the reinstatement of PDS concession rights under the transaction agreement, lift the suspension of the LAA, BSA, and GSA, cause the Energy Commission to lift the suspension of PDS's retail supply license. Basically, government will reinstate PDS to what it was prior to the suspension. And the deadline for it is October 30, 2019.
Now, the interesting part here is that this is actually a table. So on one side, you have the government of Ghana's milestone.
Yeah.
On the other side, you have a corresponding MCC action.
Brilliant.
So when government formally announces the reinstatement of PDS's concession rights under the transaction agreement, the corresponding MCC action is to release to MIDA. Remember, Raymond mentioned that MCC acting in Ghana is MIDA. So when the US government set up MCC, they set up MIDA in Ghana. So they will release to MIDA the tranche 2 funding and permit such funding to be committed to approved contracts under the compact multi-year financial plan. And remember, Raymond explained earlier that the compact is the mother agreement that we have with the U.S. government through MCC,
and we have
the
drawn down some
concession
amount of
is
money
one
from
of
it.
already 198 million.
So we took part of it. We're expecting another part of the money too.
Very
of the
good.
500 or so million that's coming from the US.
Very good. It's
so they say that when we
million.
mention that they are going to bring back PDS, reinstate them from their suspension, they'll release the money.
And then the second thing was lift the suspension of LAAB. So this is basically, after government announces it, governments will operationalize what they announced.
Yes.
So they will officially lift their suspension. And then the third thing is cause the Energy Commission to lift the suspension of PDS's retail supply license. You remember, Raymond, that after PDS was suspended, the license that they held, which authorized them to sell electricity to us in our homes, was suspended as well.
I remember the Energy Commission issued 2 letters.
So media, the MCC is telling government that when they lift the suspension of that license, they will, on the other hand, authorize the resumption of activities towards the development of a regional compact involving Ghana. Remember yesterday, Nana Damwa mentioned that Compact 3 involves other African countries.
Yes.
Apart from Ghana. And it will enable us to export some of the power that we have that we are not using.
Basically, we get more money from the US in Compact 3.
Super.
Yes.
Super.
So the conversation on getting the more money would commence if the Energy Commission also does what is expected of them, what it did not long ago by suspending the license of PDS. If it actually reverses that decision, then we can get that conversation also happening.
But the response to that letter this letter we just read is what Kenneth Ofori-Atta sent and we read yesterday, which detailed a number of things, including the removal of PDS and a replacement of PDS by another consortium by the end of this year. All right, then that brings us to 8 a.m. This letter that Kenneth Ofori-Atta wrote, Edgar Redu has a problem with. And he, if you were listening to us earlier, he mentioned that there are 4 parts to this contract as far as he's concerned: the shareholding, the financials, and then there's there's a technical aspect, and then there are the conditions. Beautiful. One of those conditions is the demand guarantee or the insurance arrangements that was made. Edgar Redu has some questions about it. What are your questions?
Well, first of all, I think I would want to take this into perspective, bring out certain things that has been making the rounds all these months when these matters broke out. And you begin to understand why certain things are happening. First of all, we need to understand that those who put this whole LAA and BS agreements together by asking for a bank guarantee.
Why?
No bank in this country can give you a $350 million guarantee. No bank in this country can give you that guarantee. Even if you put all the banks together, you will still have difficulties.
No, is it the bank that is required to have the guarantee, or the person who brings the guarantee who is required to have the money there?
The agreement said bring a bank guarantee. Yes. And I'm saying no bank in this country can give you that guarantee.
That's a serious statement to make, because
it's not a serious statement to make. It's a point of fact. No bank in this country. But your banks are liquidly capitalized less than 100 million. All your banks are liquidly capitalized less than 100 million. So who can give you that amount of money as a guarantee? No bank in this country can do that. If you even syndicate it, as I said, putting all the banks together, the 20-something banks that we have in this country, still there'll be a problem. Because not forgetting the fact that the single obligor limit is also there. And if you want to even distribute it, what is it like? Even 5%, we are talking about almost a quarter of the liquid capital of a bank. And who will subject his money to that kind of risk? And this is the first point that they should have seen, that it was impossible for that thing to have been done. Now, one of the things that you must also understand is this. A guarantee is a guarantee. It doesn't matter who issues it. It carries the same purpose, the same weight, everything. I have heard it because I think I heard statements somewhere. My brother Kwame Jantua made a statement to suggest that the moment the PDS requested for insurance guarantee, it means that was when the contract should have even been terminated. And I mean, you can't say that. You see, the guarantee carries the same weight. The difference is who is issuing it. Okay? So if it's issued from a bank, you call it a bank guarantee. If it's issued from an insurance company, you call it an insurance guarantee. If it's issued by any strong finance house, you use that name and then attach it to the guarantee. Like you have companies like Exim Guarantee. Exim Guarantee also issues guarantees.
Is that the only difference between a bank guarantee and an insurance guarantee?
What I'm saying is this. The one who issues its names qualifies it. If you want the difference, the difference is the processes that is used in acquiring those guarantees.
So let's go through the bank guarantees processes first.
No, you see, normally, for a bank to guarantee you that amount of money, his liquid capital is how much? He would ensure that you have a sizable amount of that money in the bank.
Okay, so for you to have a bank guarantee of 350 million,
yes,
you need to have that amount,
sizable amount of money in the bank before the bank will give that guarantee.
Or even if not all, quite a bit of it.
Beyond that, the bank will come back to the insurance company for a counter indemnity. Without that, he will not even go ahead.
What does a counter indemnity mean?
It is a support, a backing that you give to the bank. Okay? You give that support to them. Because without that, the bank will not go forward. They would need this extra guarantee. So you see the role that the insurance plays in this regard. Now, let me even throw in this other aspect of it to you then. If the bank even gives you that guarantee, he would make sure that that money is locked up and that money is insured by the insurance company.
Okay, so you've taken us through the bank guarantee. Let's go to the insurance guarantee. What are those processes then?
Because insurance spreads risk, they are a little bit flexible with some of these things. You get it? Because you can have a particular business, 20 or 30 people are on it. Someone may take 2%, someone may take things on that. And that brings me even to the point where someone made mention of the fact that someone was talking about capacity. I think in one of those documents that was leaked, the government paper, that when they traveled to, Qatar, the Qatar people said that...
We'll come to those issues.
I'm just, because you've asked that question, it's in line with it. I just want to say that. Depending on the capacity of the insurer, right, he says, I can accept maybe 5% of this risk. Someone says, I can accept 7%. Someone says, I can accept 1%, depending on the capacity of the person, right? It's spread. So it's very easy to handle some of these things. Because, as I said, the bank would not use depositors' monies to pay for your whatever. If you mess up, the bank will be in big trouble. And at least we've seen what has happened in the banking industry. Even 4 billion Ghana cedis, that was advanced to VRA. It almost collapsed certain banks. That's 4 billion cedis. How many banks did that? About 10 or so banks. 4 billion cedis, it almost collapsed some banks. And then this is a Finatrade or whatever they call them. Them to about 1 billion cedis. And we are talking about 350 million US. Let's get serious. So, if people don't understand how some of these things work, we shouldn't just get up and then start making derogatory comments. Okay?
So you have gone through, like I said, I'm still waiting for us to understand the difference with the insurance guarantee before we can move into why you disagree with some of the statements that we made.
And I've just explained to you, it is about the process. I said to you,
if you are going to access, let me make this simple. If I have a bank guarantee and I've guaranteed that I'm buying a cup of coffee, and then I need to draw on the guarantee, I have money there, so I can go and draw on it.
No.
How does that work?
No, so far as the guarantee is operation, that money is still locked there.
What I'm saying is that it guarantees an action that I'm taking.
No, what it simply means is that if you fail to do as you are asked to do, then the guarantee is called upon.
For it to be paid.
Exactly.
If I fail in that action,
yes, then the guarantee
in the case of an insurance guarantee, what happens?
It's
then?
the same thing. If you fail, the guarantor is called upon to pay. Now, let me just explain one thing here. There is this thing that is stated, a demand bond, okay, or demand guarantee, making it look like it's something complex. It's nothing. All that a demand guarantee says is that without cavil. That is the point of emphasis, without cavil. And what without cavil simply means is that the moment they call on you that pay, don't come and ask questions. Don't come and argue with me. Come and pay the money. That is what a demand guarantee is. You understand? So when someone says, I want a demand guarantee, he is being clear with you that give me somebody that will guarantee you that should I have to call on the guarantee, the person is not coming to ask me for any unnecessary questions. You understand? That is what the demand guarantee is. It's not any complex thing.
Of course. So it's 8 minutes past 8 here on the Super Morning Show. Enjoy 99.7 FM. My name is Daniel Daz. We're here in studio with Edgar Redu. So far, what we've done is that we've gone through some of the basics of some of the transactions that we made. If you remember, whilst we were discussing this issue yesterday, it came up that at a point it was supposed to be guaranteed by a Class A bank. And Edgar Redu disagreed with why it was supposed to be guaranteed by a Class A bank in the first place. He believes that there's no local capacity to carry $350 million of risk. And that's why it became necessary to use an insurance company. Now, this was a decision that was taken anyway when we were having this, when we were going into this deal. We decided to move from a bank to an insurance company. Now, do you agree with the challenge that Ken Ofori-Atta raised in his letter, that there was a challenge with the demand guarantee, what came up a bit later, and so because of that, there is no valid demand guarantee for this deal?
Because I disagree with him totally.
Why do you disagree?
You see, first of all, the guarantee that was requested was a performance guarantee, not a payment security. And you could see in Ken Ofori-Atta's letter that he's talking about a payment security, but it's a performance guarantee. And what was the performance guarantee supposed to do? One, there are two agreements. The leasing agreement, which you are supposed to pay 100 million, I think, every quarter or so. And then the bulk supply one, which you have to pay 250 million every 3 quarters. If these guys fail to perform by paying that amount of money, then you call on the guarantee. This has nothing to do with ECG assets, as is being put out there, that you have handed ECG assets of 3 billion or whatever to the people, and all kinds of, vocabulary is being used.
Why do they have to pay the money every 3 months?
You are leasing the agreement. You are leasing the equipment. Okay?
That is the asset.
That's the asset. You are leasing it. So for you, it's like I've come to rent your house. Every month I have to pay you some amount of money. Fine.
Okay. Now, so this is like rent for the assets,
yes.
basically. Mm-hmm.
Now, the bulk supply, these independent power suppliers who, provide power and things, you need to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, so as they have given you power, you have to pay X, Y, Z. So that is all the guarantees are about.
So this is a guarantee against those payments that we are making?
Against those payments that
Super.
PDS has to make.
Super.
This has nothing to do with ECG assets. ECG assets have been insured separately. It has nothing to do with these guarantees. It's been insured separately against material damage, fire, allied perils, liabilities, what have you. It has an intact insurance. So it doesn't come anywhere near there. Why would you want to continue emphasizing and making noise about ECG assets? As if the guarantees that we're giving, you see, and this is where it becomes a little bit, disingenuous, because you see, for people who understand what a payment security is, a payment security is a guarantee given to you to enable the financier or a principal advance money to you. Okay, that is what a payment security is. Mm-hmm. So if a payment security is given, it means that the principal would advance money to you based on that figure, but such is not the case. So if you make statements like this, it's disingenuous. Okay? Now, the other aspect is this. Here is a situation that you say PDS submitted a guarantee to ECG. PDS, no guarantee has been given to, how do you call it? You said Akut, he said they submitted a guarantee from Akut to ECG. Akut has not issued any guarantee. So where is this statement coming from?
What did Alkut do?
Akut reinsured Danwell Insurance.
So Danwell were the people insuring this deal.
Exactly.
Okay.
And sadly, you state in your letter that PDS, what you said, what do you call it? Akut is the primary insurer. Akut is not the primary insurer. Danwell is the primary insurer.
What's Alkut's role?
Akut is a reinsurer, and he is supposed to retrocede the businesses by helping other people to come on board. That's all.
What does that mean, retrocede?
It is part of the spreading of the risk. Okay, let me just put it simple terms, right? The insurance company, the insurance insurer, the one who insures the insurance company is the reinsurer. The one who insures the reinsurer is the retrocessioner. Okay? So depending on what you can absorb, right, you keep spreading the risk till you throw away all the 100%.
So if for 350 million, Danwell cannot hold all the 350 million, they'll hold 10 million and look for someone to insure the rest. And that's what you mean by spreading the risk.
They're spreading the risk.
Okay.
You go on.
And so that was Alkut's role was behind the reinsurer.
No, Alkut is the reinsurer. He is the reinsurer. He would retrocede because it is going through him, and he would look for other people to place the excesses with.
Okay.
All right? Now, one of the things that I find very... in Ken Ofori-Atta's letter, he talks about the fact that the matter has been given to the CID. Where is the CID report? The CID report has not come out to indict X or Y, and you go ahead and make such a statement. Now, what is very intriguing here is the fact that you have a team, according to Ken, a team after a cabinet meeting decided to go to what? Qatar, led by the Minister for Interior. You are going to investigate an insurance matter. The one who issued the document in Ghana here, you never talked to the person. You have a whole insurance commissioner here, a robust guy like Justice. You didn't carry him along. And you go there, and the one who actually plays the business, Joe Australia, you didn't talk with him. Then you go and speak with Akut. And because you did not carry an insurance person, they tell you whatever they want to tell you, and then you come and write a report. If you had carried an insurance man there, he would have made nonsense of all those things that were said.
But the Interior Ministry is not the only group that investigated this, right?
No, I'm not saying investigated. I'm saying here that the Interior Minister and the Attorney General, and I understand one other
Of course. In fact, team...
They went to Qatar.
That team led by the Interior Ministry were not the only people who investigated.
No. What I'm saying is this. Government's delegation to Qatar. The government's delegation, I would have expected that you would have had an insurance person. That's why I'm saying that for nothing at all, the Commissioner of Insurance is there.
Okay.
He should have been part of the team, or any representative from the insurance industry could have been part of the team, and they would have subjected the Qatar people to the questions that are in insurance language. Now, when you walk up there and then someone comes and makes, then one thing I realize is that a statement was made that they said they have a capacity of 170 million, has $170 million. So how can they underwrite such a risk? My goodness. Do you understand what underwriting capacity is? Then you make such a statement. If an insurance man were there, he would have made nonsense of that statement. Now, you want to get into certain areas, and Ken is an insurance man. And I would have expected that some of these things, Ken would have asked further questions. What is sad in Ken's letter is the fact that Ken makes a statement saying that the insurances and the retrocessions have been placed with what? Obscure and unfamiliar insurance companies. Ken, how could you say a thing like this? Who are the obscure and unfamiliar insurance companies? he should have named them. He should have named them for us to see that if these are obscure, even the local participants here, 5 companies in Ghana are on that risk. 5 companies. So you want to tell us that even the Ghanaian companies that you supervise, you are the minister.
I would love that you do not personalize this as much as you are, because this is not about. This is about. Well, you have mentioned his name
because twice. He wrote it. He wrote the letter, so I'm asking.
But he's listen, Mr. Redu, calm down. He's representing us as a country.
Exactly.
And he was communicating our position to MCC.
Yes.
Yes. So, and you know how these things work when you're working in a corporate institution. So I'm asking that.
I'm not personalizing
with the greatest of respect, Mr. Redu. With the greatest of respect. Let's not make it a matter
Okay,
of,
so let me say finance minister. Right? Let me say finance minister. Fine. Now, I say here that how do you write a letter like that and say, these insurances have been placed with obscure and unfamiliar. So you know that there is insurance there. You know. Why did you not state the companies that these insurances have been placed with? And assuming you did not even know, right? Assuming you did not know, this is a matter that broke out some months back. On the 18th of October, when you're writing this letter, you could have double-checked what is the state of the insurances of these 2 agreements like today, okay? And you would have been provided that we have about 12 companies on this particular business. 12 companies on this particular business.
Which companies?
2 are in the UK. We have Sika Re, we have Kenya Re, we have Selecta, we have Zenith. And as I said, we have about 5 local companies also as part of it. And we have Best, also a retrocession. They are all in there.
When were they introduced?
At the time this insurance was being, at the time this insurance was going on.
At the time which insurance was
At
going
the time these Alkut issues were happening.
Okay.
These things were going on.
So when the demand guarantee was questioned and the issue of fraud came...
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Around that time, all these insurances were going on, looking for people to place them with. Everybody taking piece and pieces of it, okay?
Okay. 20 minutes past 8. This is the Super Morning Show in Joy 99.7 FM. We are here in the studio with Edgar Redu. He's in the insurance industry, and he has inside knowledge on some of these issues, and he has just let us know that whilst the issue of the Alkut fraud, alleged fraud and whatever came up, some new companies were brought on board to handle the insurance for PDS. So is it the case that at the moment the demand guarantee matters have been taken care of? Why are we changing this? And I have a question here. If Alkut's denied any involvement, why are we insisting that they are the reinsurers? And I have with me here the letter here that says the staff of Alkut who forged the signature on the letter purportedly emanating from Alkut has been suspended without pay. It's here in the letter. So we'll address some of these issues when we come back. But a bit later on in the show, we are also hearing from Michael Lamte, who is an investor with Gold Coast Securities and has lost, has 200,000 CDs of him and belonging to him and his family locked up in there. Not lost, locked up in there. We'll be speaking to him and Gold Coast Securities as well. Stay with us.
When times are hard, when you're stressed and down, GT Bank is here to lift you up again. But no matter who you are, no matter where you are, quick credit's got instant cash that's just for you. Sort out your bills and support your business anytime you need it. Just get it by dialing star 737 star 0 hash. Star 737 star 0 hash. Star 737 star 0 hash.
Pull up to 100% of your salary and pay within 30 days at an incredible interest rate of 2%. Get instant cash in 2 minutes or less with no paperwork, no collateral, no banking hold. Simply dial star 737 star 0 hash to get started. Guarantee Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Comfort, durability, finishing, quality. Choosing sofas and beds for your home, office, or hotel couldn't be easier with an exclusive range of sofas and beds in various designs and colors from Latex Foam. There is so much choice, whatever your budget. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
Ma, please give me your phone. Let me make a quick call.
So you're still on that network that gives you fair data and talk time, where Vodafone has double the Red 1, Red 2, and Red 5 offers. For 5 CDs, Chikra. You get 250 minutes to call all networks, 250 megabytes data, and more.
I'm moving to Vodafone today.
Switch to Vodafone to enjoy double Intuswar on red bundles of 1, 2, and 5 CDs. Enjoy double talk minutes to call all networks and double data to browse. Vodafone always gives you more. Dial *200# to subscribe now. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Enjoy fast, affordable, and dependable 4G service in Accra and Tema. In your office, home, or on the go. Contact Telesol today on 0302 221 658 or 9. Or 0303 975 342 or more. Or our website, telesol4g.com. Or send us an email through enquiry@telesol4g.com. Telesol 4G, just a touch.
Abna, why are you crying?
Why wouldn't I cry, yo? This has become unbearable. Everywhere I go, I'm treated like an outcast. At home, at work, at the hospital, even at the market. Is it a crime to have TB? Is it a crime to have HIV? It's better I die. Why?
No, Abna, you can't give up and die. Indeed, a new dawn has come for persons living with HIV and those suffering from TB and sexually transmitted infections. WAPCAS, in collaboration with the Ghana AIDS Commission, is shedding light on our rights so we can enjoy equal rights as captured in the Ghana AIDS Commission Act 938. Rights to quality health care, non-discrimination, equal work opportunities, and education. You may call WAPCAS on 030-224-1452 or 055-6233-663 to report any act of discrimination. WAPCAS.
Here for your right.
WAPCAS and Act 938.
Here for life.
This advert is brought to you by WAPCAS with funding from the Global Fund.
Be happy.
Hello, I am Michael, and I run the shop just down the road from your house. You know, the one you always come to when you need things like milk, sugar, gari, and other things. I'm also your cow bank agent with whom you can do all your banking transactions. So the next time you visit my shop to get anything, just remember that you can now open your cow bank snap account right here. Make cash deposits and withdrawals, transfer funds, and also pay your bills easily. All you need to open an account is any valid national ID and your fingerprint. Just look out for your Cowbank agent in your neighborhood or look out for any registered Cowbank agent sign and enjoy easy banking with Cowbank Agent Banking. Contact us toll free on 0800 500 500 or visit www.cowbank.net for more information. Cowbank Agent Banking, your neighborhood bank.
Cowbank, forward together.
Are you tired of driving around just to find a travel agent? Or are you that person who calls your travel agent only to hear the phone say,
sorry, we don't close. You will call us tomorrow for booking.
Or you be that person where they make last-minute travel arrangements? Don't worry no more, because Malcolm Travels gives you the opportunity at your own convenience to make your own travel bookings anywhere, anytime, 24/7. Oh yeah, at Malcolm Travels, we give you the best travel deals anytime, anywhere on your mobile phone. Charlie, the days of Wahala and late travel bookings are over. Jack, what are you waiting for? Just log on to www.malcolmtravels.com and make your own bookings now. Malcolm Travels. Booking anytime, anywhere at your own convenience. Just log on www.malcolmtravels.com.
Hello, Hello, madam. I'd like to book a flight from Accra to Tamale. How I wish there was a direct flight to Wa.
Your prayers have been answered, sir. From 15th October 2019, Africa World Airlines is adding new routes to their flights. Accra Wa Accra and Tamale Wa Tamale.
That is the best news I ever received in a while. Now I can relax and have more time to prepare for my trips.
Yes, AWA is the first and only airline to operate a commercial flight to and from Wa with fares starting from as low as 299 Ghana cedis. Then Tamale Wa Tamale 99 Ghana cedis. And oh sir, you don't always have to come to our office to make your reservations. You can simply book a flight by calling our toll-free number 0800 200 200 or 024 324 8888 or visit our website at www.flyafricaworld.com. Here you go, sir. Thank you for choosing AWA. Enjoy your flight.
Africa World Airlines. Touching Africa. Touching the world.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM. Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back to the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Daniel Daze. Here in the studio with Edgar Redu. He's an insurance marketer who has inside knowledge on this PDS agreement. And he has some disagreements with the government's position on this and the decision to the basis on which this deal is being terminated. He has some problems. And he's sharing them with us this morning. But let me tell you about GT Bank's quick credit with which you can borrow up to 100% of your monthly salary instantly at only 2% interest rates for 30 days. Dial star 737 star 0 hash, select payday credits, agree to the terms and conditions, enter and confirm your PIN, and pronto. The requested amount will be credited to your GT Bank account instantly. Dial star 737 star 0 hash now to access quick credits if you're a salary GT Bank customer. Contact GT Bank on 0302 611 560 or toll free 0800 124 000 for more information. Guarantee Trust Bank, wouldn't you rather bank with us? Power by Kanye West in the background. We're having a conversation about power, aren't we? And Vodafone gives you the power to family and your friends on Ghana's most secure mobile money operator, Vodafone Cash. You can send that money for absolutely free. There's absolutely no charge when you send money from Vodafone Cash to Vodafone Cash. Dial star 110 hash to send money on Vodafone Cash today and enjoy this amazing offer. Vodafone Cash, always safe and secure. Vodafone, the future is exciting. Ready? Now, Telesol offers the fastest internet experience on 4G in the country with coverage in Accra, Tema, Ho, Koforidua, Takoradi and Bolgatanga. For the youth, Telesol has Telesol Wave bundles designed to cater for youth lifestyle starting from as low as 2 cedis 50 pesos. Telesol has 4G internet service to meet business, homes and on-the-go needs. This is 4G data not only on your phone and your handheld device, but also extended for use in offices and homes. Can you believe that? Telesol 4G for everyone. There's also Telesol fiber broadband services for homes and offices at affordable rates with varied speeds, unlimited and bundled data options. If you live at airports, residential, Laboni, Rich, Cantonment, Jolu and other locations, call Telesol to find out about your area and service availability. You can call them on 0303 975 342 or 344 or use an email inquiry at telesol4g.com. Telesol, just a touch. It's 8:31. Thanks for staying with us. Let me come back to Mr. Edgar Redu. So what you told us just before we went on the break was that there are 12 insurance companies that have been introduced. Obviously, because $350 million is a lot of money. And that's why you need 12 people to carry
Not necessarily 12. I mean, so far it is only 12 people were able to absorb the risk.
Okay.
If they could, then more people would have, because we have over 1,000 of these reinsurers all over the world.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, so you would have gotten people to really participate in
okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. At what point were they introduced? Can you give me the specific time?
In fact, if I knew some of these, I would have brought the documents to show you. You see, the retrocession was done by Alkut.
You mentioned here that he was the reinsurer.
He's the reinsurer, and then he had to do the retrocession.
He had to go to others
exactly.
to help.
Yes. So the gentleman that he claims, right, that did not have authority, whatever it is like. I mean, that is his work. So he had done all the, retrocessions, and payments have been made to all the people.
But Alkut is saying that he didn't have authority to do it. They suspended him.
I don't want to go into legal cases, matters that have been tested in court on the statement of Alkut. You see, and this is the things that I'm saying that people should have actually got themselves well informed about it. The statements, you see, bonds or guarantees are irrevocable. They are not like, insurance, insuring your car when someone finds that, look, we are messing up, he says, I've cancelled the insurance. No. Guarantees are irrevocable. You understand? And if you want us to go into this, there are a couple of cases that have been tested in court. And we can bring them out. And I said, we don't need to waste our time on. What I would have appreciated is that, fortunately or unfortunately, PDS is performing. They have gone up with their sales, they've increased their revenues and things like that. If there were a problem, and then you called on the guarantee, and then you started having problems, then these cases and noise you are making would come in. But as it stands, nothing of this sort has happened. I'm saying that the finance minister, you are the sector minister, okay, within that area. To what extent have you even engaged the commissioner of insurance on this matter? Now, one of the things that is very instructive here is that before any monies are sent out by way of reinsurance premium, the insurance commissioner must satisfy himself that yes, everything is in order before he gives his signature to that agreement. And without his signature, the central bank, that is the governor, would not allow any monies to be transferred.
So this Alkut deal was checked by our insurance commissioner?
Of course! Yes, so you cannot just try to get up and transfer monies like that. Okay? You go through a process. The commissioner will have to satisfy himself that everything is in place.
But Mr. Redu, all the same, this has happened.
That is why I'm saying that the position of Alkut is a different matter.
Why is it a different matter?
Nobody knows his mind. But then put him aside. We've gone beyond him. He has retroceded, and then the insurances are in place. He retroceded to Sikari. He retroceded to Kenya. Ion in in UK. APW of Lloyd's. Zenith of Douala, Selector of the Caribbeans or the whatever. I mean, he did all that. So what are we talking about? And that is what I'm saying, that you see, I have a problem with the finance minister when he makes reference to this, and that is why I don't know. And that is a point of emphasis here. That I said, he makes mention of the fact that these insurances have been placed with obscure and unfamiliar insurances. So, assuming they are even obscure or unfamiliar, there is insurance.
If Alkut steps out, does this negate this entire deal?
It doesn't. That's what I said. It is irrevocable. And there are cases, a lot of law cases that have come in this direction. So, I mean,
you mentioned this, and he says that in direct response to an observation in the FTI final report about the possibility of Ghana prevailing in a lawsuit against Alkut, which is what you say.
Yeah.
We say that the people of Ghana would consider it highly irresponsible on the part of government to act on the remote possibility that a Qatari court may find that there was a valid guarantee in place when Alkut was unequivocally repudiated, same as not its act.
That has nothing to do with them. It is damn well that you hold responsible. Because, let me tell you something here. Even you have a reinsurer, right? A reinsurance can go bankrupt. Anything can happen to him at any time. In that case, what would you do? A reinsurer can also go bankrupt by one single claim, right? And you also have an agreement with him. So you call on him for his claim, and he says, I've gone bankrupt. Does that mean the claim wouldn't be paid? It will be paid. So it is the primary insurer you have to deal with.
So government should have gone to question Dunwell.
Exactly. You see, what happens is that at times you just want to ensure that things are done properly. And I mean, that's Dr. Reku Brobe, you know. He subjected me to a thing like that when he was at VRA. I went to him for some insurances. I went to give him a package. He made me write thesis, and satisfied himself before he gave the business to, at that time I was with SIC. You have to satisfy yourself that, look, am I holding the right policy? So yes, you can request for such documents. And then what happens here is that the documents that Alkud gave Dunwell Insurance his cover note showing that he's been reinsured. Okay? And that cover note is what was presented to ECG as a confirmation of reinsurance support. Right? But as to the retrocessions, you know, these are backdoor arrangements. As to the retrocessions, they would not even know. You understand? Unless you want to delve deep, that you want to know X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and whatever, before all these things will come out. But these things are not for the public. It's a back-to-back kind of arrangements that is now within the insurance world. As I said, for instance...
But they were doing their due diligence, right?
Yes, I'm saying, for instance, as you sit here, your car is insured. Do you know how many percentage of the insurance is with Ghana Reinsurance? You don't know. But then, yeah, you don't know. I mean, you go to the insurance company, you place your risk there. Fine, he collects the premium, he goes, right? At the end of the day, how the insurer decides to spread the risk, you have no idea. Unless you want to be inquisitive, X, Y, Z, go in here, and then all these kind of things here will come out. Okay? And now, there is some kind of arrangements that are made because even before you can go to the reinsurer to make a claim, the insurer must be insolvent. If the insurer is not insolvent, you can't go to the reinsurer to make a claim. You know?
It means Dunwell must have failed.
Yes.
Before you can go beyond Dunwell and go to...
Yes, what is termed as the cut-through clause that people are talking about. Every cut-through clause comes with its own terms and conditions. It is not a straightforward thing, right? Every cut-through clause comes with its own terms and conditions. And it says that, okay, but it must be based on the fact that the primary insurer, who is the lead, is insolvent.
Okay, so it's 21 minutes to the top of the hour. This is still the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Edgar Redu is our guest in studio. He's taking us through some disagreements he has with government's current position on the PDS matter. So in wrapping up, Mr. Redu, you insist that there is an insurance cover for the lease assignment agreement that we have.
There is 100% insurance protection.
Okay.
For the lease agreement of 100 million US and the 250 million US.
And for the bulk supply agreement.
Yes, and let me emphasize and let me state again that we need to understand these things clearly. Okay? No bank in this country can give you that guarantee. If you put all the banks together, it means and they divide it even 5%, it means you are taking a quarter of their liquidity, and that itself has its own problems.
I want to read the statement for you.
Yes.
Again from the letter Mr. Foyata wrote.
Yeah.
On the strength of all the information gathered about the purported demand guarantees, and this is what he brings after the investigation to Qatar and the FTI investigation. On the strength of all the information gathered about the purported demand guarantees provided by PDS as security for the transfer, the government of Ghana is of the firm opinion that there is still no valid payment security.
The one who is giving you the money, the MCC people, the MIDA people, who commissioned FTI, what did they also say? No, what did they also say?
Of course, we read the MCC's letter, and the MCC says that they should
not the I mean, the investigation. There are two investigations here, right?
There is no information available to FTI to suggest that PDS, CalBank, or Dunwell and or personnel from MIDA committed fraud in relation to the demand guarantees.
Exactly.
And it's this. I'm reading from the finance minister's letter.
That's it. His whole letter is quoting the FTI report. So if one letter says that there's no fraud here, why should you say that your letter carries more weight than that? And I've questioned it.
So they are not saying that there is. They have not stated that PDS committed fraud. What they are saying that there is no valid payment security. But Malik has been listening in.
Yes, I just make a small comment on the point that Edgar raised about the banks in Ghana here not having the capacity to be able to offer the 350 million worth of guarantee. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine who works in a bank who says that he doesn't think that position is correct, because usually in these guarantees, it is the company that brings its assets, shows its assets to the bank that it has these assets that are worth the $350 million, and then the bank just issues the guarantee, so that if you are unable to satisfy the requirements, then the bank will take your assets to defray the cost. So it can't be the case that the bank itself has to use its own assets
not necessarily
to issue you the guarantee, so that if the bank doesn't have assets worth $350 million, then you say that the bank cannot issue the guarantee. That position is not correct.
All right, let me just explain something to you. What you are talking about is traditional banking. In modern banking, right, it is liquid they are advancing to you. You have assets worth 300. When would they sell those assets? And that 350 million, don't forget, your own bank, your liquidity is less than $100 million. So where are you going to get the excess money from? Are you going to use depositors' money to go and pay? What you are talking about is traditional banking. In modern banking today, they always come back to the insurance companies for counter indemnity. But check with your friend.
But let me ask a question. Danwell could not carry that 350 million, and so they went outside to get 11 other companies to help them carry it.
Yeah.
Can a bank not do the same?
That is why I'm saying that you can do the syndication, right? But looking at the figure involved.
Why are you staying local with the bank syndication? Can a bank also not get support from a foreign bank which has that weight?
No. Local, how do you call it? These local things, the governor will not even. It's against their rule. You can't insure and do those kind of outside guarantees. No, you can't do those outside guarantees. Everything must be done locally. But one of the things I want to say, even if you take 5% of the figure, that comes to almost 90-something million Ghana, right? If you take 5% of the 350, that's about 90-something million Ghana. That is, as I said, almost a quarter of the bank's liquid minimum. How do you call the
minimum capital requirement?
Yes, and which bank would subject that amount of money to a risk like that?
Right. So Mr. Edgar Redu has stated his position on this matter. 60 minutes to the top of the hour. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Edgar Redu is an insurance marketer, and he was stating his disagreement with some of the positions put forward by government. We're just going to take a few messages, and when we come back, we hear the very, very unfortunate story of Michael, who not only invested himself, his own monies in Gold Coast Securities, he invested he let his family members, his sister, his wife, his mother-in-law, and his brother-in-law to invest a total of 200,000 Ghana cedis in Gold Coast Securities, monies which they cannot access now. When we come back, we hear his story and we speak to Gold Coast Securities. But we'll also give you the opportunity to phone in if you have any questions for officials of Gold Coast. Stay with us. This is still the Super Morning Show.